Hello, history buffs. It's your favorite bear, Teddy, and today we're taking a time-traveling journey through some fascinating events that happened on this day in history. So grab your time machine snacks and let's dive right in. We begin today with a moment of remembrance. On this day in 2020, we lost a true icon, Chadwick Boseman. Known for his incredible roles, especially as Black Panther, Chadwick was not only a brilliant actor, but also a symbol of strength and courage. He quietly battled colon cancer for years while continuing to bring powerful stories to life on the big screen. Wakanda forever, Chadwick. Next, we move to a tale of espionage. In 2014, American spy John Walker, who had passed classified U.S. Navy documents to Soviet agents for nearly 2 decades, died in prison. His actions were one of the most damaging espionage cases in U.S. history. Walker's story is a reminder of the complex and often dangerous world of international intelligence. Now let's rewind to 1996. On this day, the fairy tale marriage of Charles, Prince of Wales, and Princess Diana officially ended with a final divorce decree. It was a moment that captured the world's attention, marking the end of a union that had once seemed so promising, but was ultimately filled with challenges. Blast off to 1993, when the spacecraft Galileo snapped some incredible pictures of the asteroid Ida. This mission was a major milestone in space exploration, showing us just how vast and mysterious our universe really is. Who knew a rock floating in space could be so interesting? In 1968, tensions were high at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Protests against the Vietnam War boiled over into what became known as the Battle of Michigan Avenue, a violent clash between demonstrators and police. It was a pivotal moment in the anti-war movement and left a lasting impact on American politics. One of the most iconic moments in civil rights history also took place on this day in 1963. Around 200,000 people marched on Washington, D.C., culminating in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legendary I Have a Dream speech. This event became a cornerstone of the civil rights movement and continues to inspire the fight for equality today.
Of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at...
Born on this day in 1952 was the extraordinary Rita Dove, who would go on to become the U.S. Poet Laureate and win a Pulitzer Prize. Her work, especially the collection Thomas and Beulah, captures the richness of African American life and history, making her one of the most important voices in American literature.
In the tribe of Moche, there were equations elegant as a French twist, fractal geometries unwinding maple leaf.
Now let's jump into the world of film noir. In 1946, The Killers, starring Ava Gardner and Burt Lancaster, premiered in New York City. This movie became a classic of the genre, with Lancaster's performance launching him into stardom. If you haven't seen it, put it on your must-watch list. Heading up north to Canada, on this day in 1938, Paul Martin was born. As Prime Minister, he introduced progressive social policies and fostered economic growth. Although his time in office was marred by a financial scandal, his legacy is a mix of successes and controversies. Turning back the clock to World War I, the first major naval battle between the British and German fleets took place on this day in 1914, the Battle of Heligoland Bight. It was a fierce engagement that marked the beginning of the naval conflict between these two powers. Now, for a bit of opera. In 1850, Richard Wagner's Lohengrin was performed for the first time in Weimar, Germany. This opera, with its famous bridal chorus, has become a staple in the world of classical music and continues to be performed worldwide. Revolutionary times ahead. In 1793, the siege of Toulon began during the French Revolutionary Wars. This was a significant event as it marked one of Napoleon Bonaparte's early military successes, setting the stage for his rise to power. Finally, we end with a moment that truly changed the course of history, the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476. On this day, the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the German leader Odoacer, signaling the end of ancient Rome and the beginning of the Middle Ages. Wow, what a journey! From the fall of empires to iconic speeches and space exploration, today in history sure was packed with monumental events. Thanks for joining me, Teddy, on this trip through time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode of my Teddy Talks. See you in the next one, History Adventures.